Andy,
Chucky.
we are back.
We're back with an amazing guest. I'm so excited.
Yes.
Awesome, man.
Most people will know this guest as the drummer for the platinum-selling Jack Johnson, but he's a man with many strings to his bow, including, now it's a bit of a list, I hope I get this right, things like you're a band leader, singer-songwriter,
Mm-hmm.
drum instructor,
Mm-hmm.
entrepreneur,
Yes, I guess.
and
That's
hold
fancy
on, there
way
was
of
something
putting
else
it.
in there as well. Hold on. Instrumentalist.
Sure.
I'll
That
take that
works.
as well. But
That
also, most important, more important than any of that, is you live in Venice.
Yep.
So,
Long time now.
welcome to Venice Pulse, Adam Topol.
Yay.
Yay. Am I allowed to kind of like say how cool the setting is for this?
You are. You
Right.
are.
Can I say kind
Yeah.
of what I see out?
Yeah.
We're on the freaking canals and in really cozy place.
Mm.
And I was really happy to walk up to like a very vibey place on the canals. And
Oh, good.
yeah. I'm like, oh, this will be cool.
Yeah,
It is cool.
This
Actually,
is and it's cozy. It's cozy.
it's cozy.
that actually does raise a point, actually, because you get two sides. There's different sides of Venice. You've got the sort of chaos of the boardwalk,
Yeah.
the craziness there, and then you have the more sort of calmness of the canals, the more chilled out part of the canals. I mean, do you get involved with the shenanigans that go on the boardwalk?
Well,
Or-
I'll tell you, when I want to take a civilized walk, if I have some friends from out of town,
Mm.
this is where we go. I'm like, you guys have to see this. And the boardwalk, we'll go there too. There's a couple cool places on the boardwalk, but this is beautiful.
Yeah,
you
it's-
know?
I actually think the canals are something of, they're a bit of a secret here. It's
Mhm.
kind of like, there's even people in LA, I find, who don't know about the canals, you know?
Yeah.
It's,
You can
Yeah.
walk here, bring visitors. It's just like, no, wait, the story was that Abbot Kinney
yeah.
made Venice like Venice, Italy, right? It built and dug these canals. And
Yes.
It's just like a vacation
Yeah.
destination. And this is still made the cut. Like it's still here, but other parts were
Yeah, covered up.
raised or something like that.
Yeah, I'm not sure of the exact figure, but there were lots of canals here.
Hmm.
It's really interesting too. I have a book of, the history of the canals, just going back and looking at the pictures. And I've always wondered, like, what is my personal pull? Because I've been here a long time too.
Hmm.
Did I live here in a past life?
Mm.
What's your, what brought you to Venice? Because you said you've lived here for a long time.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, it's so interesting. Like LA, like it's a place that lets everyone in a certain sense. I mean, if you travel enough, I went to school on the East Coast and stuff. LA has both a positive and a negative reputation. You know, I went to like Boston University and Berklee College of Music. And after you go there, people are like kind of deciding, well, is it going to be Nashville? Am I going to stay in Boston? Or am I going to go to New York and try to conquer that? And LA, like a lot of the teachers, I remember going, referring to it as the left coast, you know, where like West Coast jazz had a rep among some of just being like a little bit light, or you get some cliches of like LA's being like sort of light or superficial. But I just like, I went to school in Santa Barbara and I'm from California, and then I left to kind of get an education on the East Coast. And then I had the decision of coming back or staying on the East Coast. And it made sense. Like, okay, full admission. I just went to the theater in Boston. It was freezing. And we watched Pulp Fiction when it came out. It's an incredible film. And there was the one scene where Samuel Jackson and Travolta, Jules, and I forget the characters' names, they're going to get rides home. And one says Inglewood and one says Redondo Beach. And I started laughing. And everyone's from Boston theater. They didn't get it. But I got it. And made me realize, like, this is kind of my home. And there's things in LA, there's a culture here that's real, you know?
Can I interrupt you just quickly? Because
Please.
you have to finish that scene off there. And there's Harvey Keitel says, I have a premonition. You're both going to have to get a taxi or something.
Right,
But
exactly.
it's like, get out of the sticks, guys, and get into LA proper or something like that, he'd said, didn't he?
Yeah. Yeah. And then that led me to come back. And at that point, like as somebody that loved music, I'm an enthusiast. I just, God, great jazz here. There was a venue called Fifth Street Dick's and the World Stage that both had incredible jazz, like comparable to what I was seeing in Boston and New York. So I had a lot of respect, and there were a lot of clubs and there was a lot of culture, and I knew people. And then we have the weather, and then you come to LA and you have to make a decision. Where am I going to go?
Yeah.
Valley's great. It's affordable. It's a certain energy. A lot of great musicians are there. Hollywood's great. The East Side's great too. And there's a certain style there. And Venice was just, for me at the time, and this was like 90s, 80s, Venice was affordable. It was different than it is now. We all know that.
Yeah.
But every time I'd come through Venice, I'd certainly look at these canals and think like, if you could be anywhere, this would be the spot. It's just otherworldly. So I'm glad we're hanging out here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can I actually rewind? You said you were in Boston. Were you part of the indie music scene at all there? I say that because I'm a really big fan of bands like Buffalo Tom, Tanya Donnelly.
All those are all named Pixies and all that. I was a fan, but I went there like right after that whole thing. Like, I think there was that scene, and I think the Lemonheads, a lot of those Boston bands that really peaked, and I got there right after they sort of the ethos sort of moved elsewhere, I would say. But at the time, I think I was in my late 20s and 30s, and I had a spiritual epiphany that I just wanted to, like, I don't care if I can make a go of it on a practical level or not. I'm going to go there. I've got an opportunity, and I want to take a year or two and study jazz, and went to Berklee. And so I was more just on campus, just trying to like figure it out. You go to music school when you haven't really been rigorous or academic with an instrument, I was more just playing with friends. And all of a sudden you get to the East Coast where they do not let you hide. You can't roller skate into class late, be like, what are we talking about? I mean, this is the East Coast. So I was really just trying to keep my head above water at a really competitive, serious institution, So I did end up gigging a lot. I got to like a ska rocksteady band called the Hi-Hats, and they were very active all around Boston. So we got to play the Rat and the Channel and all those cool clubs and stuff. And at that time it was like a reggae. And then I was in like a soukous, an African soukous band.
Wow.
And so we played the Western Front. And so that was really cool, being in the world music scene. And so it was great. And it was my time to just learn and soak things up.
Yeah.
What made you decide to do that, to go to Berklee? I mean, I know that because that's a lot of rigor.
Well, I don't know, man. I mean, I think I'm around a lot of great musicians now, and I might even say, and this might make me not so popular in a certain light, but I might even say the autodidact, people that just figured it out on their own, might have gotten a little further than I would think people like me that tried to study, I think there's a lot of value in somebody just sitting in a room with an instrument and trying to figure out how to play it and getting a job at a record store and just being in bands. Because people have been really imaginative through that road. Whereas I just couldn't. It was like this code that I wanted to crack.
And you did.
And I don't know, does anybody, but I mean, I could, on my own, I felt like stifled. I was in Lake Tahoe at the time, kind of like regrouping. And then Berklee seemed like a place where you could go. At the time, I just wanted to learn about jazz. I didn't have any delusions that I myself could be the next Tony Williams or Elvin Jones or whatever. But I loved those people and I wanted to know what it was about. And it seemed at the time that Berklee was this place where you could just go and get a crash course, which I did get to do.
Yeah.
So.
And it's a really good school.
It is. It was and it is. But it's tricky. So with arts, did you go to art school?
No.
And it's hard to get into.
Now it is. Back then it was, they were a little more lenient. But the trick with art school, and it's maybe their fault and maybe there isn't, they just get a bunch of kids coming in that want to do it. And they have parents in most cases paying tuition, going, okay, we're going to give you this tuition money. What are you going to do with my kid? How are they going to make it in the world? And so it's there. What they would basically say is, if you're the prodigy flautist, bassist, drummer, you'll go on and work for these bands. If you're okay, maybe you can get a job, working, they call it casuals, or, playing in like cover bands, corporate events, cruise ships, whatever, or you can teach, and I sort of hit a wall because I felt as though I didn't fit in any of those super valid slots, It's really deceptive if you're playing a guitar and people like look at a poster of Kiss or Iron Maiden or any rock band, and they view rock people as this otherworldly thing. But all those people have spent a lot of time squeezing out chords or doing rudiments or figuring out how to physically play an instrument. And it's really hard, and it takes just as much focus or work or dedication as being a realtor or being in any kind of thing, I think. And, so.
Did you, a slight detour, did you see that? I heard that. So Ace Frehley just passed away recently. Yeah. Did you hear that quote?
No. Tell me.
He said, maybe you know this, he said, if I'd known I was going to be so influential, I would have practiced more.
It's an interest. Okay, so there's that. I always think about that because I think, okay, here's Ace Frehley, here's Wes Montgomery, here's, there's all these different, there's Jonesy from the Pistols, there's all these different guitarists, and they all have their lane, and they're all valid. And so would Ace have been Ace had he shredded a little bit more? Maybe it was Johnny Cash that said, and I'm probably misquoting it. I'm definitely misquoting it, as a musician's limitations determine their style. So maybe limitations are a good thing. Like if you go to New York and look at the Folk Art Museum, there's some cool stuff there, man.
I'd like to do that.
But it's a Formica table that a postman made a landscape on, and you couldn't find anything more interesting. That person never went to art school. And they never had a teacher saying what is good or what is not good. And so I'm still trying to figure it out.
I like Robbie Robertson from the band. I think he said he said that he wasn't so good at shredding, but to him it was all about the melody when he was playing. So if that was only playing one or two notes, then that's all you were going to play, because it's about serving the song or something.
Well, he certainly knew what he was talking about.
But what I wanted to say, though, was so it's obvious you have this thirst for education. Now, you spent some time in Cuba as well.
Yes.
A lot of time.
Yeah.
Was that?
Relatively speaking, sure.
Yeah. Was that before, during?
It was during and after my tenure in Boston.
Yeah.
So anybody interested in going, they still have groups here in the U.S. That will bring anybody that wants to learn. Well, in my case, since I was taking it from the artistic perspective, there are people that will bring potential dancers, instrumentalists, musicians to, in my case, Havana, Cuba, for a week or two, and show them all the music, house them, take them around, and introduce them to the most happening, if your thing at the time was like dance or drumming or whatever, you just have it just handed to you. It was a really amazing thing.
Wow. This is in the, sort of mid-90s?
It was. There was a group at the time, and I think it's called Plaza Cuba now, and they're great. I highly recommend them. But when I was there, it was Caribbean Music and Dance, run by some incredible people who just met all the best musicians, drummers, dancers at the time, Havana, and they brought us there to study with them. It was an incredible experience, and it was eye-opening, and there's a whole value system there. It was my perception. I'm not saying this is true, but what I perceived was these people, there was no evidence of Rolling Stone or a music industry or the hierarchies or the things, the tropes that we see here. These people just played. You'd meet a drummer who worked somewhere, might have been a radiologist, might have been a doctor, might have been a dock worker who played like good, like super great. Kids, moms, everyone did it. And so it was devoid of things that you might find in here in California or New York or North America. And they just played, and there was a culture, and it was very pure. It seemed to have some purity there. And I missed that here. It's here, but I just missed that feeling. And so I really fell down that rabbit hole for a while.
And that probably had a big influence on you as a musician.
Sure. I think most musicians you'll talk to will really be into some kind of South American rhythms, whether they studied them or went there or not, it's everywhere. You even get one of those drum machines and it has rumba, and stuff.
Yeah.
It's a cool thing,
So what did you think when the Buena Vista Social Club came out?
That was great.
Because you kind of predate that with your coolness or something. You were like,
yeah. I think it was great. I think that what they did was cool. I mean, it championed a lot of people that even there might have been, you're not left behind, because nobody is, but certainly I knew the groups that were in the spotlight at the time in Cuba, and it was cool to see these other people that may not have had their time, get to shine. So that was cool. And I think that what struck me too was that we would go, you just walk down the street in Cuba, like a hotel lounge, and you'd hear the same incredible son. I think it was a lot of son music, they call it. And you'd hear that everywhere. They all played great, so it connected. It wasn't such a novelty. I think people hadn't had the luck that I'd had to go. And so they heard these people playing salsa and son, like older stuff, with a really nice production. They're like, this is amazing. And I'd be like, yeah, I've just been running around Havana chasing these people around.
Wow.
And I'm glad everyone else gets to get into it too.
Yeah. So as an aside to this, Cuba, I mean, was it difficult to get there, or visas? How does that actually happen?
Yeah. Yeah. And it's hard now too. It might be worse because of some really tough circumstances with COVID and stuff.
Yeah.
From what I'm hearing, it's really difficult, and my heart certainly goes out to people, to like what's going on there. But back then you could, and you still can go if you show an intent to go there and study for a cultural reason, and your heart's in the right place. I've been a few times, and it's been nothing but positive.
Really?
I mean, of course life happens, but like those people showed me so much, and I learned so much going there,
Yeah. So as long as the paperwork's sort of intact, then it's just no problem being there.
Because you went through
It's been my experience. I went through a school, and then the times I went back, you basically, you'd apply for a permit, educational, and it seemed to work out every time. So yeah.
So at what point did Jack Johnson come along then in all of this?
Oh boy!
And is that related to Venice? Because didn't he used to hang out in Venice a little as well?
Sure, he did some time. He did some time in L.A. for sure. He was Santa Barbara at the time.
Okay.
I was like, and this goes back to me thinking highly of Venice and Los Angeles. It's like a thing where I feel like, for all the traffic and all the challenges one might get here, anyone could come here from any place and state an intention. And LA is the kind of place where they'd be like, okay, if you're a magician, you want to do puppets? All right, you're a puppeteer, I guess. Cool. And you could.
We know one.
Oh, you had a puppeteer?
You had a friend.
That, yeah.
Kate, was it?
Kate, yeah.
Italian puppeteer.
Shout out to Kate.
Yeah.
Word to the puppets.
But anyway, sorry, I interrupted.
But LA's a thing where, and Venice even more so, because it's such a free-spirited place, where at any age and at any time, a person could come here with an intention that if you were, say, in Boston or New England or any number of places we've all been, and you say, I'm in town, I want to be a puppeteer, and I'm 65 years old, they'd be a little suspicious, maybe.
Yeah.
Not everybody, I don't want to speak, but in LA, I just feel like people just are cool with it. People come here and reinvent themselves a lot. And so, that was a thing for me, for sure. And I think Venice came into, so Jack, I got out of Berklee. I was teaching school. I was doing a bunch of stuff. I taught school English,
Mhm.
in the winters. I played in bands, indie bands in town. And then in the summers, that allowed me to go to Cuba. So I was going back and forth. Then I had my dear friend Perry, who's Perry Ostrin. I'm giving him a shout out. He played in this really cool band called Spanish Kitchen, whom, like a lot of people from that time, held in a high place, I guess. He introduced me to a band called the Martinis, and that was Joey, Santiago, and Linda. They had a really cool band. And
That from the Pixies.
yeah, Joe
Yeah.
was taking a break from the Pixies, and he and Linda had a band, and they were really awesome, and they let me play with them, and that was my first road experience.
Okay.
And at the time, I was out of teaching, but I had a job that was really cool, and they were like, "Sure, go. We're here for you when you come back." And that's the other thing.
Can I quickly say, what size venues were you playing with him?
At that time, it was a really interesting indie project. So just really cool clubs. Like we would go to Seattle, we played the Crocodile, like just really cool, like kind of indie punk rock clubs.
Yeah, that must have been a great experience.
It was amazing.
And learning.
Yeah, and I was pretty green, and they were very kind to just sort of put me on and kind of school me, and I learned. And I think that went away. And then I met Jack through my friend JP Plunier, and JP was managing Ben Harper, who's another great artist from Claremont. And he was like, "Hey, I'm going to start a label," and my friend Jack, and get together, play some music. And we did. And I had a little practice room in West LA. And I just remember like seeing Jack roll up just out of UCSB with an old acoustic guitar and an amp that was semi-broken. And he just sat down and played me what was on his first record. And I'm like, who is this? He's so good. I mean, it was amazing. It was like nothing I'd heard.
Wow.
Yeah. And I had been in, at that point, a lot of great bands and stuff, but you meet an artist who's has something interesting to say.
And he's just playing them to you because you just happened to be in each other's company hanging out. It wasn't any kind of...
he showed up at my practice room. We just got together to jam. And he sat down and played this stuff, and it was like...
Do you remember what song it was? It was a long time ago.
I mean, it was the first record that came out, this record, Brushfire Fairy Tales. I mean, he played me Flake. He played me Bubble Toes. Like, these are songs, who knows if you guys know who that is, but there's songs that wind up in our set list regularly. And then I had heard him for the first time. And he and Kim weren't even married then. They were just an awesome couple, played me these songs. And I just instantly knew this guy's amazing. And he's cool, and that's how it started.
And
just
he obviously liked you. You gelled.
Yeah. I was real fortunate.
Yeah.
And then my friend Marillo was, there was a group called Spain, really awesome. Kind of, I guess you put them in the shoegaze category. Really cool, like post-punk, folk, shoegaze. I don't know, but Spain.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. My friend Marillo at the time had been in that band, and we had this Latin project. It was amazing. It was with this guy, Miles Perlick, who's also a Venice local, and Miles, who is a great DJ, a great conguero and stuff. And we were doing all these salsa tunes, Eddie Palmieri, Cachao, all this stuff. We had this group with our friend Robbie Carmine. We would joke and say it's the Mar Vista Social Club, but I forget the name, but it was great. And those guys were really nice to pull me in, and we were just playing salsa and funk. And Merlo was a bass player, and he was just super funky New York cool guy. So it just wound up, he came in and started playing with Jack and me, and then it became a 3-piece. And then
and what was his name?
Merlo Podluski.
Okay.
Yeah, he's still in California.
It's pretty cool that, I mean, this Jack Johnson's kept you guys together for like 20, 25 years now.
Unheard of. It's
know?
unheard of in terms of working for an artist.
Talk about that.
For me,
you guys deserve to have a band name for all that time together, don't you?
I know, right?
Jack Johnson and the...
I think it is Jack Johnson.
Nah, he just goes by his name. And,
That's pretty good. That's pretty damn good.
He's a great guy. Yeah, he walks the walk. I would say that 100%.
Talk a little bit about how you guys have flourished for so long.
Yeah. Well, I would say I could certainly speak for myself. I think that was at a time, probably in terms of like rock and roll. This is my own take, and I could be wrong, but I'm probably wrong. But for me, I was probably past a certain prime. If you're in your 30s, still making a go of it at the time, and in what I would think to be a commercial art scene, maybe you're a bit older, you know? I mean, in most, unfortunately, like if we were in France and I would said I'm a poet, they'd say, cool, you're a poet,
Yeah.
you know? But if you say that here and you're not, if you say you're in the arts and you're not making money or playing with the person of note, I had felt like so a bit of a bum, you
Mm.
know, or whatever. You know, there's also like this thing in where if you're associated with a project or a name, you're a success or you're happening. And if you're not, you're out. There's a feeling I get. I don't want to. So anyway, like, I don't know. I first thing I did was, and I think this goes back to maybe going to Cuba and playing with a lot of different people, which I still do of note, or just working musicians where my art is mine. It's beautiful. Whatever you do, if you're bringing something beautiful to people, that's enough, and it's cool and it's happening, you know,
Yeah. So,
just being you, you know?
yeah. So I was going to say, what do you kind of identify as now then? Because obviously you've been associated with Jack Johnson and everything that comes with that, but you've released, 2 solo albums, I think.
More. Yeah.
I'm talking about a singer-songwriter.
Oh yeah. Thanks for looking into my stuff.
The jazz album.
3
You're doing
technically.
this roots EQ thing. I mean,
Yeah.
do you, how do I say this? Do you think of yourself primarily as a drummer or even Jack Johnson's drummer, or do you just think of yourself as this,
Musician,
yeah, or even more holistic than that, more, do you know what I'm saying?
artist.
Yeah.
That's a thoughtful question. Before, let me just back to what you said about the family or the flourishing thing. I would say that coming into it a little bit later, I think Jack's music and I think the message in his songs or whatever he was talking about or his thing really start to flourish. Like we had done, all the clubs were packed, but then we went to San Diego and did a gig at the San Diego racetrack. And we were in a minivan. They wouldn't even let us in because they didn't know. It was crazy how fast that took off. And all of a sudden, he was a really big deal. And so like things I somehow through more of like associating with his songs and music and maybe a sound we made, I don't know. It really propelled a lot. And all of a sudden, a lot of things happened that went past like a club level, let's say, or if you're doing a TV show or you're in some situations where you're like, wow, I was just teaching 9th grade literature not too long ago, and now I'm in this other setting. But the relationship there was all those people are grounded people, it means like he's like in my opinion, and I don't want to he could speak for himself, but I perceive him as a really grounded person. And an anomaly to what I would see in the pop music thing in many cases, as was Merlo and as is Zach, all the people that play in his band. They're very cool, interesting people that I don't think are like the typical, it's not like the typical thing. And that helped me, and that model to me, like just being normal or being cool and not buying into maybe some of the noise that anyone could buy into a little bit. And so I think that's what's helped with the friendship over the years, and keeping something pure and well-intentioned.
Yeah.
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 Those guys really are way better at it than I am. And so it helped me. Like you sort of grow up around people. Okay. If you're on a basketball team, and I'm not saying this to be self-deprecating, but I mean, those guys are great artists. So if you're in a basketball team where everyone plays and they can all dunk and you can't quite dunk yet, you're going to be able to dunk maybe because you're with all these other people that are great. And so I think if I'm in a band with a bunch of people who who have really a solid soul, it's going to make me better too. And so I think that's been the secret.
Yeah.
Where I think a lot of other projects have maybe had some troubles or difficulties or run into some walls. Everyone stayed solid in that camp. And it's not just the band members, it's the same crew, because it's like a bit of a family and everyone treats each other well, I think. So that's an anomaly. But back to what you were saying, I just wanted to answer.
And I just want to say,
I'm shifting around.
Okay,
Sorry.
before I'm glad you answered that, because I was like, you didn't answer the question yet. I love that you're saying that, because, my son's favorite music is you guys.
Oh, wow. That's sweet.
So we spent a summer.
Curious George was his introduction to it, wasn't
Well,
it?
it started with Curious George.
Oh, that's sweet.
But when we were in Hawaii, that was our music when we were traveling. Always listening on, and he plays all the time.
Also driving. What was it on the busiest traffic day in England last year, or England and Scotland, driving from Edinburgh down to southwest England.
Yes.
Listening to that and the epic soundtrack for like 11 hours.
11 hours. But what I really like about that is that your music is so pure, and it's so it goes to you. It's deep. It's not just and I think that's why he resonates with it. At least I know that's why I resonate with it.
Yeah, me too.
And it makes me so happy that my son loves your music.
It makes me happy too. I would say, as a fan of the stuff that Jack writes too, it's the same thing, because I have the privilege of seeing like how the guy handles himself and lives on a day to day. And there's no difference between maybe what he might talk about and who he is. And that's cool when the artist, you'll read about, like, I'm really into reading about other artists and painters and stuff. And you read about it's maybe somebody that makes a beautiful painting, but had a complicated life. The painting may be of one thing and their life may be more complicated. And there's no judgment there.
Yeah. But
it's cool to see when an artist, what the picture that they're making and the person that they are, there's a similarity there. I like that.
And also you're part of that. So thank you.
No, sure.
Because you're part of the painting, you're
the tapestry. The tapestry.
Yeah.
But
it's an honor.
Kind of related to that, and moving back to the identity thing as well. So Alexander asked me today about your solo music, or your music away from Jack Johnson. And I was saying, actually, he's released 2 really cool singer-songwriter albums. And Alexander's like, well, are they any good? And I'm like, yeah, they are. They're really good. So I've spent the week running up and down the boardwalk, waving at Harry Perry.
Oh, yeah. That was a great... listen to that podcast, by the way. It's fascinating. Yeah.
Well, listening to the 2 singer-songwriter albums, and you're actually probably due for another one soon, because it's been quite a while since
it has. Yeah.
Last one. But
I can't wait.
Yeah, I just want to say, I thought it was really good. It was like very sort of Americana, folky, but you had these real European sensibilities sort of
Thank you.
thrown in there as well.
That's a compliment.
So I will be, anyway, the point is I'm going to forward those to Alexander so he can put those on his playlist as well. But this brings me back to the question I asked you, though. So it's kind of like, what do you identify as? It's like, because when it's one thing, backing up Jack Johnson, and that's an impressive thing, but to release a whole kind of album with pretty much, which is your songs, it's you, that must be something that you must think, yes, this I identify as this singer-songwriter.
It's a good question.
So
I don't even know the answer to that. Well, here's one thing. If you work for an artist, let's say in my case, I'm a drummer and I have the privilege of like being of service to a song, and I play with a lot of people, local people too. Tom Freund, who's a Venice local. There's a 1,000 of them not 1,000. There's a lot of great artists in this town that have written these great songs. And as a drummer, percussionist, it's so fun to someone sends you a recording of their song or whatever, and you figure out, oh, what am I going to play? Put a shaker in this, you put some a bongo pattern there. You play the drum set. Your whole art form is accompanying a song and making it hopefully better through putting a beat on it, and so that's a certain discipline, but I think there was like also part of me that felt like I wanted to own the craft of songwriting a little bit more, It's certainly enough. I mean, like there's a drummer named Jim Keltner who is like one of my heroes, and that's what he does. He shows up, people haven't played drums or percussion or whatever in their songs, and he's a Picasso at that. And so I could easily have been totally fulfilled just getting to play with all these great songwriters that are around. But I also did feel, and this may be some insecurity on my part, like, did I choose being a side guy or supporting people, or am I doing this because I love it and I want to do it? And so I think I did need to just show myself that I could write some stuff too, and I might have some things to say. I was a lit major, so of course, like books and poetry and thoughts and stuff are relevant,
So do you have anything more to say? Because I think it was 2019, the
well,
album.
So I had like a couple records come out with this project called Culver City Dub Collective.
Okay, yeah.
And I didn't sing on that, but we just wrote these great tracks. And at the time it was, we had a lot of great guest performers on those, and we did some really fun shows and stuff. And when that tenure stopped, I felt like it would be cool to do a record. And there's a singer-songwriter named Mason Jennings, and I don't know if you've heard of him or not. He's from Minneapolis, but I would regard him as, I met him through Jack, as one of the best singer-songwriters out there,
Say his name again.
Mason Jennings. He's just like the real thing. And he helped me a lot. I mean, and my interpretation of him is like, whereas a lot of other people are so good, you could kind of hack out a song that wouldn't be fully formed, that you hadn't put in your 10,000 hours, and they'd go, you crap. Like you told me an anecdote, I don't know if the mic's run, about one of your projects, that prior to your figuring out how to perform, you had a synth project that people didn't understand and they didn't take seriously, right?
Yeah.
Well, Mason's the kind of guy that would have taken it seriously, even though he's an incredible singer-songwriter. He sees a lot of truth in somebody being honest and expressing an idea, just putting it out there as truth. And so I think he helped me a lot to just take some song ideas and singing and do a record. And then my friends Andy and JP at Ever Loving Records backed me up to do a record where I sang and played, and Mason helped bring that to life, and I was happy enough with that. I did some shows.
It's really good as well. I recommend. It's the
Thank you.
Cuando.
Cuando's the second one. Okay,
and the
also
first
out
one.
on Ever Loving. The second one was with Matt Costa, another great singer-songwriter, helped me do that one. And that was a little bit more like psychedelic, but that was a great one too.
But they're very kind of lush, sort of indie dreamy, which I really like.
Oh, man.
Where you can just kind of ethereal, you can just sort of drift off to it.
Thank you. It was so back to England, man. Bands like we were doing some stuff with an artist named Neil Halstead.
Okay.
And he was in a band called Slow Dive. So there was a lot of, even Nick Drake, a lot of stuff that came from England that I loved. That had a different feel to it, that might have informed, some of the sensibilities of things I was trying to get, I was after. So it was really good to do that. And then to prove to myself that I could do that. There was a friend of mine, Donovan Frankenreiter, who at the time when those records came out, he goes, you can tour with me through Europe. And I'm not going to pay you, but just come along with us on our band. They had like a Sprinter van, and they let me go. And so I just brought an acoustic guitar and opened for him, and I got to, just with the guitar, and it was like I had done that thing too. And it was, I think, a landmark. I think it's good to write. I think it's good to sing. And for a drummer, I think it's good to squeeze out a chord or two.
Wow.
And that way, for me, when I go back to my role of just like, really, sometimes it's taking direction, what the artist wants. And sometimes it's just, you can do that stuff even more happily because you're choosing to, not because you can't sing or you can't write. It's because you want to be there. And I think to prove to myself that, I did do a couple things where I sang and played, and I'm glad I did. They're great records.
Yeah.
What do you think of these? I'm kind of changing the subject now. What do you think of these drummers? People like Night Ranger or
Night Ranger. Who's that?
their Sister Christian. Do you know that song from the kind of a rock band from the 80s? Basically drummers who sit behind a kit and sing.
It's great.
Or people like the band Levon Helm.
It's harder to do.
Yeah. Have you ever done that? Have you ever played a full kit and sung?
That's mostly what I do. If I do it, because okay, it's not as cool to sing and play drums. It isn't. For most people's account, Dave Grohl put down the drumsticks and he grabbed a guitar or whomever. They all seem to do that,
Yeah. I think it's kind of coming back, though. Don't ask me to name any bands, but it's kind of like these days.
So.
These days, anything seems to go.
I'll jump up and I'll do some stuff on the drums, when I'm allowed.
Yeah.
I like it, but typically in rock, you've got to have that guitar. You've got to have that acoustic guitar to be the folk guy and electric guitar. That's the trope you see. But and I did it a little bit, but I was reluctant, not only because it's freaking hard, but because I feel like, is that a picture of Dylan on your wall there?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so that signifier of Dylan with the guitar, that just shows that's something.
Yeah.
That's a thing, that's an image, that's a form of expression. And I felt like that's their thing, I don't want to pretend, my thing is the drum beat, the heartbeat, always.
I love that.
That's the thing.
The heartbeat.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Do you sing backing vocals with Jack at all? Or
Rarely.
No? Okay.
Rarely. Yeah.
Does anybody?
Oh, yeah. Zach does great. And we all do a little bit. Zach Gill, great pianist, accordion player, plays everything. Really great harmonies and stuff. And they really resonate well. Those two went to college together and same birth date. So it's a beautiful sound. But I'll do some backups. But I'll tell you, man, those shows tend to be bigger.
Yeah.
And I'm almost glad I don't have to sing, when I can just focus on getting the parts the way I want.
So if you had the same, I think you alluded to this earlier, you've had the same drum tech for many years? No?
They've changed a little bit, but yeah, basically it's the same basic crew that's been there, more or less from the start, and so it's very informal. Like the whole notion of a drum tech. I mean, there's a guy that helps set up the drums and also the key. I try and help. They're like, no, go. We got it.
Did you ever see the Flaming Lips live?
Yes. Oh, yeah, man. We did an acoustic Christmas and got to see them and back. Oh, it was great.
Because I'll tell you what's really cool about them is they literally are the roadies as well. If you go to one of their concerts, and I've seen them a couple of times in sort of, few thousand seating venues sort of thing, they will actually be out on stage and the crowd are cheering. They'll be there just literally setting everything up, tuning the stuff,
wild.
Which is kind of just crazy, really.
That's wild.
You're watching them in between the support band and them putting everything together.
Same with like this guy, Manu Chao.
Oh, yeah.
Have you heard of Manu Chao?
Oh, yeah.
I think they're very like low production value, intentionally thumbing their nose at stuff. I used to see Ozil Motley, one of the greatest bands, and they're around LA, and they'll come out way before they're supposed to go on and start wailing on their instruments and sound checking. Like they take any sort of mysterious stagecraft out of the picture, and it's funny. And to me, and I don't mean this as a diss, it's just the opposite, but there's like a Bad News Bears thing that happens but then they play, of course.
Yeah.
They're incredible.
I actually remember seeing the Black Crows at the Royal Albert Hall in London. And it had been one of those nights where I'd been clubbing all night. So I'll let your imagination tell you what that involves. And this was perfect. It was like a Sunday night sort of come down. And I remember and we had quite good seats. I went with a friend of mine and we were on the side, but, kind of close. And I remember we were just kind of like, okay, this is perfect. We don't have to move. But I remember they walked out. And again, it wasn't like curtains open, let's go straight into a song. They just kind of walked out and were just had some drinks. They were kind of smoking and they were just tuning up. And they were probably tuning up for about 5 minutes longer, something like that. And then they just started sort of jamming, and then that went into a song. and then we're like, okay, look, the gig started. Here we go. And it's just so cool.
Yeah.
It's just so cool.
Yeah, I like that.
So I know that you're going on tour soon.
Yeah.
Talk about that.
It sounds like it. I think there's a summer tour plan that Jack's got going, and it should be fun, man. It sounds like there's some good acts associated with it. From what I hear, he has a really cool nonprofit, like a farm.
Mm-hmm.
He does a lot of community activity with, and from what I imagine, it's going to be connected with that. And it seems like a great thing, man. I can't wait.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun.
So you'll be on the road.
Thankfully.
So what's crazier, playing like a massive festival or arena, or walking around Venice on a Saturday afternoon?
Different. Totally different thing. I mean, I think they're both different because it depends on your state of mind and it depends on the people around you. I've been here since I don't like people wear HO in Venice t-shirts. And so I don't do that because I didn't go to high school here. I think the people that went to high school here, middle school, that are really from here, and I still have some friends, I regard them as the local people, and I came in the 90s. So, but it was still old Venice, and I've seen it in so many different settings, but if you go out in the water or if you're walking around and every day is different. And I think the same.
So what would be the main difference then between, say, old Venice and new Venice?
God, I mean, it's pretty obvious. I mean,
Okay. Well, so I've been here, 16, 17 years. So I guess that would be old Venice 17 years ago, or no? I don't know. Do you know?
A bit. I mean, what was Abbot Kinney like at that time?
Oh, it was mom and pop shop.
Oh, it was, wasn't it? Yeah, it was.
And house.
And now nobody can afford the rent there, can they?
Right. So when I was there, and I lived right behind on Electric Avenue at a little a carriage unit in this courtyard, and there was Hal's, and there was Abbott's Habit, and that was liquor, and I think there was a liquor store across the street too, and the rest were just sleepy
vintage clothes stores.
I don't remember those around either. I remember, 89, 90.
Oh, okay. What are you remembering? Just
Abbot Kinney was pretty empty.
Nothing worth remembering is basically what
there was the pizza spot too. There was Abbott, there was a coffee place, there was Hal's.
Do you ever go into is it Alfred's that's on Abbot Kinney now? Do you ever go in there and get a coffee?
No. Is it good?
Oh, it's okay, but I love the pictures they have on the wall in there. Do you know the pictures on the wall in there?
Mm-mm.
Don't you ever? What are you doing? You spend your life
probably looking at my cell phone or playing with a dog.
Oh yeah.
Like petting a dog.
Oh yeah. So pre-social media Venice, that's a thing.
Yeah. Well, they have pictures on the wall of Abbot Kinney from like the 1950s, 60s, and you've got these kind of, long blonde-haired guys and girls just walking around with no jeans and just bare feet and just hanging out, basically.
It was an epicenter. I mean, the whole Dogtown thing, and
Were you part of that at all?
No. That was a whole different thing.
Yeah,
those guys. I mean, I remember being lucky enough to get to the North Shore and hang out, and we were recording a record with Jack, and I had the pleasure of seeing this guy Jay Adams cruise around. He was at the North Shore, and he was a legendary person, and just, I didn't really talk to him, I guess, but I saw him surf, and it was amazing, and it just made me think about that era of Venice, And then I've got my friends like Solo Scott. You don't know if you know him, but he's part of that's Venice to me. Those guys that.
Is he a surfer as well?
He is. I mean, he surfs a lot, but now I think he does real estate. He's just
I guess Craig. Hello, Craig. If you're watching, he'd know all this because he's been surfing here for many years.
Craig's OG. Yeah. I'm a late comer, but I've been here a while enough to see.
Have you ever been on a surfboard?
Oh, yeah, surf.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, get down there.
I think I went on one once and kind of maybe I stood up for a split second, fell off, and have never been on one since.
We'll get you back out. I've got an extra wetsuit, and they invented soft tops. They're very polarizing.
Too many sharks in the water. There was a great white spotted off the coast here.
Really? In
Yeah, it's
Venice?
probably a couple of months ago now, wasn't it? Just
That's,
it was up by.
that's one of the
it
parts
was
you'll
up
have
at
to
the-
edit so my wife doesn't hear it.
Yeah. We
yeah.
don't want, and I don't want Alexander
Yeah.
hearing that either.
No, it
Um,
was kind of more Santa Monica, but it was
Okay.
heading south. So,
Just going back to Venice. Yeah, it's really interesting because I've seen it transform so much, like
Mhm.
Abbot Kinney,
All of LA, really.
all of LA.
Yeah. Certainly Abbot Kinney.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I remember, did you used to hang out at Hal's?
A bit. Back when Howells was in session, that was an interesting term of my life. I was teaching school. And so I just
Where
remember
were you teaching?
a couple different places and I kicked my butt in the best of possible ways. So shout out to teachers. If you're a teacher, you are a saint. It was one of the best things I did, but was one of the hardest things I did
Yeah.
because man, I was grading papers. I was hustling. I was lesson planning. And when I wasn't doing that, I was in a band, because so when Howells was around, I was just what is treading water when you're just trying to not drown.
Yeah.
And I was doing that, and barely able, I probably couldn't have afforded Howells, certainly. But it was there and it was it was a great idea. And it was really, he was cool and they had music there and stuff too and fine dining.
So where in Venice, secret places or not secret places, but that you go to, that you're a regular?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. It's so interesting because it's not a secret place, but I love it when I can get out in the water and surf at the breakwater. And I love there's a pasta joint on the boardwalk that hand makes pasta.
oh,
I'll remember the
is
name.
that the place that it's got a yellow kind of storefront?
No, it's not there. I'm kicking myself, but there's a guy from Italy that hand makes pasta.
Oh, wow.
On the boardwalk?
On the very unlikely spot.
Wow.
There's Real World Books. Well, what's that bookstore?
Yeah. Tiny.
Yeah,
Tiny
we went there recently.
Bookstore is awesome.
Yeah.
And I'm walking around Abbot Kinney and doing stuff all the time. But really, a lot of it, I have a music studio in my house. I had the back garage is converted to where I have I have microphones and a Pro Tools rig and
so it's
drums and
obviously
percussion.
soundproofed.
Enough.
Yeah.
Depends on ask my neighbors. It depends on who goes in there, but they're all very nice. I tend to be in there a lot, just I think musicians and artists. I mean, do you guys do art or poetry? I know you're a musician too.
Not.
But
really.
this is a form of communication
this
and
is
storytelling.
Art.
This is storytelling and stuff. So there's a notion of somebody just getting completely lost in, I guess, what you would call childlike wonder.
Yeah.
When you can sit there and strum a guitar, you can strike a drum, and in my case, getting to play music. So a lot of my mixing it up might have to do with gigs. And so, for example, there's a place called Lunetta. It's a all-day diner. It's a restaurant. It's not in Venice. It's just outside Santa Monica. And once a month, we go and play jazz. And that's with some really great musicians who are jazz, reggae, rocksteady, Latin stuff. And so I'll go and play a gig there. If anyone's on my Instagram, come see us play. We're going to once a month. We get there, we play jazz. It's all ages. It doesn't cost money.
Is that like a band or is it an open mic kind of band?
Well,
how does it work?
It's been a revolving cast of characters, but some of the regulars are like David Rollicky, who's he lives in Los Angeles now, but he's a longtime Venice guy. Shout out David, what's up? And he's in this great band called Dengue Fever, and he's plays with Feist and everyone. Yeah. He's great sax player, reedist, and synth player. He'll usually jump in, and he's also in this band called At the Brig, which is on Abbot Kinney. The Brig. He's in the Brig band, so I'll pop in and hear him and all those geniuses play.
They have live music at the Brig, do they?
They do. The Brig band.
Have they always had live music there?
I don't know, but
I don't remember.
The Brig that I knew was way different.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't the hipster. Well, sorry, that wasn't nice. It wasn't improved and nice like it is now. It was like a real bar.
I remember.
Yeah.
Remember the old Brig?
Yeah, and I remember they had hay on the ground.
Yeah, that was like a legit
I
old
remember
school boozer.
I remember one of the first times I came here, going to the brig and drinking. I remember 2 stories from the brig, actually. The first one was I bought some drinks, and being English, I didn't tip the barman.
Rude.
I know. Well,
You didn't know. It's not the
I know.
subculture.
But I remember taking these 3 drinks and giving them to whoever I was with. And the barman actually walked around and called me out on it. He said, "Where are you from?" I went, "England." He goes, "Yeah, well, I know things are different in England." Kind of getting in my face, said, "But over here, we live for the tips." Da, da, da. And I'm like, "Oh, okay, sorry." Da, da, da,
Yeah.
and pulled some dollars out.
Well, conversely,
And I've never not tipped since.
well, right. And you learn the lesson. And I was in Japan and I make it a point, like if you're at a hotel, you tip people that help you. And I remember there was a hotel staff person that had helped me with something, and I handed her some yen, and she said something really mad in Japanese.
Oh,
But
really?
yeah, and apparently tipping there is something that might even be considered to be rude or in
Wow.
poor taste. I don't know.
Uh,
So like I've gaffed it too, and then in Australia and England where people just drop a couple quarters on the table, I'm like, what the heck?
yeah,
Well,
Yeah.
we don't do that.
yeah, yeah.
How are you to know?
I know.
Yeah.
Speaking of travel, you've traveled to a lot of places.
Yeah. Music. Who would have thought? Like, and maybe this is like advocacy. If somebody's hunched over a computer writing a story or making a painting or trying to learn an instrument, like that thing could wind up being this vehicle that will take you to a bunch of magic places. You
Yeah.
know, even if you don't make a lot of money doing it or you don't get a lot of praise doing it, it's like could be like a magic carpet, you know. That set of drums have just blessed me with going to a lot of, you know, we were talking about David Rollicke earlier, who's a longtime Venice guy since it's a Venice Pulse. He has an incredible band called Dengue Fever, and I was lucky enough to get to sub for their awesome drummer Paul, like, and I got to go to Southeast Asia with them. I mean, so like, check that
Wow.
out, you know?
Where were you?
Oh God, we got to play a festival in Thailand, and it was incredible. And then we went to Phnom Penh, and it was like life-changing. So that was just like one thing. And the band's amazing, and it was so great. I got to cover for their regular guy, and they took me along, and it was incredible. So that was like one example. And then of course with Jack getting to go to all those beautiful places, you know.
How does do you consider yourself a session drummer? I guess. I mean,
Well,
how does that work? Is it just
well,
pure
that sounds-
networking, or are you on some list, or how does it?
Fun fact, like some people are very adept and very professional,
Yeah,
and they are like session musicians, and it's really one of the toughest roads. You have to be so good to do it.
yeah,
But I never feel like that. I just feel like it's like, how did I get to be here?
Yeah.
Just
You
Craig said, "Hey, you should do this thing," and you're like, "Yeah, cool. He seems cool. Have him come in," and then we're here. We're making something.
yeah,
And I think if ever I looked at things like used words like session or showcase or audition, it always seemed to be foreign and never work right. You know. And there's nothing wrong with those words or that way of looking at it at all, because I profoundly respect those people that live in that lane. But for me, it's always just like this.
yeah.
Let's do something. It might be at a coffee house, and it might be at another thing. And, you know, it certainly is. There's things that have worked, have wound up. You're just with friends making something.
Yeah, yeah.
Is there a do you practice a type of spirituality?
Yeah, man. Absolutely. I feel like, I guess, I think everyone's right to a degree. That's the first thing. I think a spiritual experience, whatever that person's spiritual experience is real. Like that's a premise I have, where I feel something in my heart. Like I think music, it could be a spiritual practice, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it defies anything rational. If somebody's strumming on a guitar and you feel something beautiful and it makes you want to live, like, I guess science could come up with some sort of neurological explanation of how it resonates, or But for me, that's like a burning bush kind of thing, you know? If I hear somebody play a song, I want to listen to it 40 times over and it makes me happy. That's like a spiritual act. But in terms of organized religion, I think whatever your thing is and whatever you feel, it's right. As long as it's, you know, decent
Yeah.
and free thinking and not too imposing, you know,
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
sure.
What advice would you have for yourself if you were looking back now?
Oh,
sort
God,
of
that's a
20,
good one.
30 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. Oh, man. I'd say the same if someone were to ask me what I think, I would always say the same stuff to me that anyone else, which is like, you follow your bliss, the whole Joseph Campbell thing. That's your personal legend, whatever you love, you know, there's truth in that. I think with any artist, certainly for me, doubting, you know, or the imposter syndrome, a lot of things that artists will go through. I wasted so much time just tripping on things that always worked out, you know? And then when they didn't, there was a really good lesson. And then when they didn't, I probably had a hand in not in putting rocks in my own canoe, and I had to learn. So there's a good lesson there too, you know? So I think some level of faith that if something's in your heart and you love it, you want to do it, like this podcast, you know, it means there's a reason, there's a cosmic reason why there's all these mics up and there's cameras and we're here and all this. There's a reason why so there's some sort of like thing that flows. And so have faith in it, you know, don't doubt it. Just keep showing up, put your head down and go, you know?
Wow. Well, do you know what? On that note, wow, I think we should start to wrap it up. But before we do, there's a new section of Venice Pulse.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
We've got 5 or 6 quick fire questions.
Okay.
Which I'm going to ask you, and just give me your immediate answer, some of which we've hinted at before. Okay, so Venice, boardwalk chaos or calm canals?
Oh my gosh. Do I have to pick one or the other?
Yes.
I'm
going to say canals just for today, because this is rad and we're on the canal.
And it changes.
Well, it's like having a
depending on your mood.
favorite album or favorite song.
Well,
we always
wait,
change that.
let's go back. Would that be to live or just to experience in general?
I think just the experience.
The experience.
Really.
Well, for today, for right now, this is perfect.
Okay, well, kind of related to that then, sunrise surf or sunset groove?
I want to say sunrise surf, but I sleep in late. And so, like, I guess sunset groove, because I'm a musician.
Hold on, don't you have to get up at a certain time to catch the wave? Or
You
does
should.
Or does it depend on the moon or something?
Well, the tides have something to do with it, but it's best in the mornings, I would say. But I've been sleeping in.
What's your favorite coffee shop, bar, restaurant, venue, anything?
Oh, wow. In Venice, what do I like? God, it's all pretty great, you know? I mean, I hate to say this, dude, but Trader Joe's makes a very good pumpkin coffee ground but that's in Marina del Rey. It's not a Venice thing. Okay, I have to pick Venice.
I'm glad I know that.
It's a thing if you're a pumpkin person.
I'm a pumpkin person.
What's a Venice thing? I mean, I hate to say it, but if you go in Abbot Kinney, oh my God, Jelena Takeout has this iced coffee that just gets you wasted. It's so good.
Really?
Oh my God. It gets you hammered. It's so strong and good.
I had a sandwich at Juicer, is it, for the first time?
Oh, yeah, behind
about a week
Goals.
ago. Yeah. It was really good.
Oh, yeah, they don't play.
Really good.
Yeah.
There was no messing around. Tour bus or beach cruiser?
Beach cruiser, 100%.
Has to be, really. Studio or live on stage?
Wow. Live on stage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. If Venice disappeared tomorrow, what would you miss first?
Things like this, 100%.
Okay. And finally, one word that captures Venice right now.
Beautiful, right?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, beautiful,
It's got to
right?
be. It's got to be.
Okay, I have one question.
Go on.
You're going to have to edit it somehow, but what's the most memorable concert you've ever been to? Or like when you were
recently?
a kid?
Oh my God. That could be a whole other podcast. You first.
I really enjoyed seeing Ben Howard.
Oh, he's amazing. Sheesh, man, he is great.
That was a really
When
amazing
was that
concert.
gig?
It was in like it was a while ago. It was like 2017, 2015. It was a
Yeah.
while ago.
He's fantastic.
But it was so.
Did he have 2 drummers on that gig?
I don't remember. I
Yeah.
just remember it was, yeah. What about you?
I don't know, man. I mean,
Or the first concert you've ever went to?
well, first was like Santana, but I will say, like, back to the Venice thing, like relating to LA, like seeing Fishbone back in their heyday
Yeah.
was pretty mind blowing. Like,
You know,
things like that.
they played a couple of weeks ago at the, what's that brick building called? The Venice West?
Venice West, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's a staple. Like things like
Yeah.
that, getting to be in LA, seeing like,
I remember going there though, and the sound being really bad. I don't know if you have any thoughts on it. It was all kind of
it's tricky. Yeah.
reverby or
Yeah, I
something.
played there a lot.
Oh, good.
it's
We're going to
tricky.
follow you on Instagram.
Oh yeah. Follow me on Instagram. Yeah. Sometimes if there's a bigger band, it can get a little intense.
Yeah.
But I've also seen bands sound great there. So it
Yeah.
just depends. on
Yeah,
the
I think that's probably what it depends on.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
Right on.
Right.
We could go on and on. When's your
We
birthday?
could.
September 2nd.
Ah,
Yeah.
Virgo.
Virgo. How about you guys?
January 4th, May 1st,
May
and my
the
son
1st.
is September 20th. I got to take these off.
Responsible, organized, pain in the arse. That's what I was
Sounds
told.
right. Sounds
Me.
right.
Me.
Sounds right.
Okay, right. Let's say goodbye. Oh, so where can people get hold of you?
Oh, Topi1 is my Instagram. And again, a little pitch. We're doing some shows at Lunetta coming up once a month. It's jazz, and they're all really great Los Angeles musicians. Come in, get some food, hang out, all ages. And we love seeing people there. It's a community event. So,
Okay, well,
yeah, that's it.
I put some links below this.
I can
so
bring
people
my
can click on
son.
that.
Would love
And
it. Yeah. Yeah.
cool. Okay. And also, I always forget to say this, subscribe, add, like, all those kind of things that people are meant to do. Okay. And
We're so excited. Thank you so much.
bye.
We did it.
Yay.
Bye, everyone. Bye.